Tombs of Amascut, home to 5 of the most mechanically diverse bosses in the game. Players come from all over, seeking riches and prestige. Whether it's your first raid or your 500th, there's always a way to improve. So look no further than ToA. Body type A and body type B scapers. Today we'll be covering one of my favorite rooms in this raid, Zebak. No matter how crazy, chaotic, or catastrophic this room becomes, there will always be a way through it. With these 4 techniques, you'll carry your 50 Invo E and friends to victory. The first and most important thing we'll cover, the wave skip. After that, we'll talk about jugs and how they move. How to Keris Spec through the roar. Last but not least, the blood specials. As always, there'll be timestamps below to jump right into the section you need. When skipping waves, we have to know where the waves are going to come from. The first rocks will always come from the left side of the room or the south. We have to move from right to left for this, or north to south. The second set of waves will always come from the right or the north, and we'll have to move from south to north or left to right. I'm going to introduce you guys to my 4-part method on how to wave skip. P. Position yourself in an open lane. I. Identify the direction of the waves. S. Start your movement. S. Stop your movement. With the PISS method, I promise you'll become a wave skipping master. Now let's see how I use it in an actual fight. Here you can see I'm implementing P, positioning myself in an open lane, where I'll be able to move right to left easily. This is the first wave, so I've identified it's coming from the left. I'm going to do right to left or north to south. Assuming you're using NPC true tiles, you're going to move the second the wave is next to yours, or it's adjacent. Watch as the blue wave tile touches my gray tile. That's when I start my movement.
Our movement is going to be one tile, the direction the wave is moving, and then we're going to click through the wave.
And guys, you have to click only one tile. If you click any more, you're going to get hit by the wave. Any less, you're not moving. Just as important as starting your movement is stopping it. If you go too far, you're going to get hit by the wave, or you're going to end up running with the wave as you see in this clip. All this is going to make it much more difficult for you to wave skip the next one. So stop that movement and stop it early before you get hit over and over and over
and over and over and over again. It's going to be awesome.
I'm going to let the clip play out so you can see how I implement the PISS method for the remainder of the waves. And there you have it. I hope the PISS method helps you master the wave skip. Now, if you used NPC True Tile, feel free to skip to the jug section using the timestamps in the description. But if you're too stubborn, here's some examples on how to skip using normal tile indicators and without highlights. Due to the lack of visual clarity, I beg you, please reconsider. Your ego isn't worth losing this purple. The 4 big things I want to cover with the water jugs is their explosion radius, how they move, how to push them properly, and standing positions behind the boulders. There are a few bonus tips at the end. Normally jugs explode in a 5x5 radius, though we're going to be using upset stomach in this clip, so they're going to explode in a 3x3 radius. You're probably thinking, well duh, that makes sense. But did you notice how the jug moved there? And why it hit those 2 spots? I'm going to rewind the clip and explain how that jug movement actually affects where that radius explodes. Right here, the jug makes contact with the boulder, but it doesn't explode right away. The jugs always move one extra tile before they explode. So if a jug's ever gone just a little further than you needed to, that's probably why. I'm going to show you a few more angles so you become a master at how these jugs move. Right here it makes contact and it's going to move one tile towards the center of these two boulders, exploding with enough space for us to move behind them. Beware, this next clip might give you PTSD as this tragic event has happened to all of us. But we're going to turn it into a learning moment and watch as this jug moves one tile too far. The last point I have to drive home about jugs is always manually pathed to be adjacent to it. You can see in these clips how I'm manually pathing and they go exactly the diagonal I want to. On this last jar, I go 2 tiles away, and look what happens when I click. My character pathed to one of the cardinal directions. This is going to happen when you're 2 tiles away. You're going to move to one of those cardinal directions, and you're just going to push it a direction you don't want. The last thing's simple. It's overlooked a little bit though. It's where you can stand. So as I blow up the jar, I don't have room in the front behind the boulder. But you have up to 3 tiles behind these boulders, so sometimes you don't even have to push a jar. There's just an open spot. I'm going to pause the video here so you can see the shockwaves aren't hitting in these 3 tiles behind both boulders. A few bonus tips for you here. During the second roar special, I always notice that there's a jug within 2 tiles of a boulder. If you're tight on special attack energy or need an emergency heal, you can below pipe the jugs for a max hit heal. If your projectile has a long travel time, you can hit it early and then push the jug. So we've mastered how to handle Zebak's big jugs, but your 50 Invo Ian friend hasn't. So what do we do next? We Keris Spec. I have a surefire 3-step system for you guys to learn how to properly Keris Spec Zebak's Roar. You do need to be above 50 HP for this to work, but I tried to stay above 55 to stay safe. Step number 1, P, position yourself in an open lane. Step number 2, E, equip your Keris. And step number 3, E, engage your special attack after his first shockwave. Let's watch the P method in action. P, I've positioned myself in an open lane where Zebak's shockwave will not push me into any acid. E, I've equipped my Keris. E, I engage my special attack after the first shockwave. You'll notice I wait to click my special attack orb until my character is moved. The second I see my character shift from one tile to another, you can click that orb and you'll be good to go. The last thing I'll be covering is the blood specials. Understanding these is the easiest way to improve your Zebak room. You can tell a blood special is coming by the blood barrage around his feet or legs. Watch closely here. One of 2 attacks can now happen, his blood barrage or the blood spawns. To avoid the blood barrage, whenever we see the blood special at Zebak's feet, we'll pray mage, and then at the very last tick before the next projectile hits us, we'll flick on range if we need to. Keep in mind when Zebak is below 25% health and in enrage phase, we can only do these flicks during level 2 and level 3 Zebak. When he summons the blood spawns, we'll want to move to the opposite end of where they spawn. The yellow and the pink tiles will be safe spots for you to move as long as no one gets hit by the blood spawns. As you can see here, they're dying as they reach my location. If someone does get hit by them, they could potentially damage you, but 99% of the time, these tiles are safe. Here's my own little personal tip. Standing on those pink tiles right on the stairs here nets you the safest location from the blood spawns. Sometimes they can't even see you in a solo, and the acid rarely lands here. Be warned though, standing here makes it a tad bit more difficult to do the water jugs during the Roar special. One last closing note. Practice makes perfect. Go into a 0 to a 45 invocation, get comfortable in the encounter and doing those mechanics. I've spent hours practicing to perfect these, so don't be discouraged if you don't get them right away. With these tips in mind, and a few good flicks, this room is a 0 damage, 0 prayer room. That's all for my Zebak ToA tech, and remember, you are strong enough to do this. Thanks for watching.
Interior crocodile alligator. I drive a Chevrolet movie theater.